I'm in a rut, I know that I'd be happier if I made a change, but honestly, it's just more comforting to stay the same. This week, I've been stupidly underproductive. I've tried to write every day, but mostly just found myself staring at a blank Word document. And then after a few hours, losing myself on YouTube, looking up all the nuances of Daleks. There are so many colours. In Alice in Wonderland, the Red Queen says something like,
"In my kingdom, you must run as fast as you can just to stay in the same place. And if you want to get somewhere else, you must run twice as fast as that."
An evolutionary psychologist picked up on this phrase. They call it the Red Queen problem, and it can be simply explained as everything is after you all of the time, so you have to adapt to survive. And that made sense to me. It meant something like, I have to constantly be getting better, otherwise I'm actually getting worse. But that realization was kind of crippling, and it kind of made the whole situation more hopeless. I lost another 2 days of my life listening to this audiobook about this imprisoned and tortured for 100 years Dalek. I didn't feel like Buddy G at all, and I definitely wasn't connecting with my inner G. In fact, I was actively avoiding my energy by comparing myself to other people, comparing myself one-sidedly to people doing more than me, people more successful than me. But I don't know what these people's lives are like. That friend with the good job in London was probably addicted to cocaine, and that celebrity I admire might be a chronic drunk driver and bigot. Is his life really preferable to mine? And who am I to compare myself to such deep, complicated humans and reduce them to one tiny aspect of their existence, their success? But it's easier to think that way. It's easier to think that there is a separate, perfect class of individuals that are highly successful and are nothing like me. It takes the weight off your soldiers. But honestly, I felt like that Dalek.
You're nothing!
I should really get up.
So my cookie jar is, we forget how badass we are in hard times.
What's this?
What we do in life is, we've all gone through suffering. We've all gone through hard times, and we've made it. But when you're in the midst of suffering, what our mind does is this. You think about the now, and there's no strength in it. So you reach in your fucking mental cookie jar, you pull that motherfucker out and you read it. So that's what I do when times get hard, is I remind myself I'm a bad motherfucker.
David Goggins. That man is right. We've all been through hell in one way or another, but made it out the other side. Goggins' cookie jar is a place in your mind where you can store all of the challenges you've faced and the achievements that you've accomplished. And that was the spark that I needed to start to pull myself out of the rut. You might have been in and out of hospital as a child, but you got better. You might have lost a family member or a dog. You might have lost some weight or gained some muscle. You might have got an A star in that test, or like me, traveled halfway across the world despite nearly dying from parasites. It only takes a second to remind yourself how much of a badass you really are. The alternative is focusing on the negative, and the more we do that, the more of our energy flows to the negative, giving it a life of its own, and psychologically turning us into prey. Scared and irrational, we start to sink in hopelessness. Another way of looking at all the shit we've been through is with confidence. All the terrible things that have happened and that are going to happen belong in your cookie jar. They make us who we are. The truth is, confidence isn't a lack of vulnerability. Confidence is an acceptance of vulnerability. The Cheshire Cat said something about this in Alice in Wonderland. He said, "Forgetting pain is convenient. Remembering it, agonizing. But recovering the truth is worth the suffering, and our Wonderland, although damaged, is safe in memory." So after I watched that video, I did one thing that evening. I looked back on all the times where I'd faced way worse than this before and made it out the other side. And by doing that, I compared myself to myself, not to one dimension of some deeply complicated someone else. Filled with confidence, I got off the sofa, and then I found the energy to write this. The next day I went for a run, and another run, And eventually I finished writing this. All those little wins had a knock-on effect, and they gave me the momentum that I needed to get out of my rut. And I think that's actually how the mind works. A healthy mind gets healthier, and a sick mind gets sicker. Matthew knew what he was on about when he wrote, "To everyone who has, more will be given. But from him who has not, everything he has will be taken away." Maybe with this knowledge, you'll find it easy to run as fast as a Red Queen demands. Sometimes all you need is a cookie to get going. And then, you'll even have heaven at hand to help you carry on. I've been Pastor G. Don't forget how much of a badass you really are. And click here if you want to know how to effortlessly change your life.